Hi, today we're going to do a long division word problem. Sally owns a company and she owns 1/3 of that company, and last year it made $719,823. The other 2/3 belongs to her investors, and it's divided into 24 shares where each share goes to one investor, or possibly multiple shares go to one investor. Polly owns 13 shares, Bill owns 2 shares, Mark owns 8 shares, and Lucy owns 1 share. So now she needs to find out how much money does she have to give to herself and how much money does she have to give to each of her investors. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what Sally's share is, and that is 1/3. So we're going to set up a long division problem, and we're going to have 3 divided by $719,823. And so now the first thing we need to do for this long division problem is decide how many times does 3 go into 7. And so 3 goes into 7 2 times. And then now we write down the 6 because you take 2 multiplied by 3 and then you get 7. And now you subtract 7 multiplied by 6 and you have 1. Then you have, bring that 1 down and you have 11. And then from there you need to write how many times 3 goes into 11 now. And so 3 times 2 is 6. No, that's too low. 3 times 3 is 9. Let's try that. 3 times 4 is 12. No, too high. So then we write down a 3 right here. And then we take, what is 3 times 3? 9. And now we subtract that, and our change is 2. Now we take 9 and we bring it all the way down. And then from that 29, we multiply out by 9. And 9 times 3 is 27. And then we subtract that 27 from the 9. And we have 2 that remains. And from there we continue on and we bring down that 28. And so we remember that 9 times 3 is 27. So we bring that again and we take 9. And then that 9 is 27 and we subtract. And then from there we have 1 remaining. And we come up here and we bring down the 2 again. And we say, how many times does 3 go into 12? It goes in 4 times. So then we write down a 4 right above that 2 that we just brought down. And then we write down 12 because it goes in evenly. Now we have 0, but now we have this remaining 3. And we write down that 3. And how many times does 3 go into 3? 1 time. So we write a 1 down here. And this is a long division problem that doesn't have a remainder or a decimal point in the answer. So now we know that Sally's share is $239,941. Her investors altogether have twice what she has. So now we have a multiplication, a multiple digit multiplication problem. So we have 239,941 and we multiply it by 2 in order to see how much in total her investors have. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 9 is 18. We write the 8. We carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18. Add that 1 brings us to a 19. We write the 9 and we carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6. And we add that 1 and that brings us to 7. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So that means that her investors together have $479,823. $882. But remember, it's not just one investor. There's 24 shares that money has to be divided into. So we have to do another long division problem, and we have to divide that $479,882 divided by 24. So we'll write that problem out and work on that. So now we're going to write 24 divided by 479,882. So for the first thing we'll do is 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 2 is 48. Nope, 48 is too high, so we're going to write down a 1, and we're going to put 24, and then we're going to subtract that. And how we got that 24 was we just took that 1, multiplied it by 24, and then now we write the subtraction sign, and we subtract 3 and 2. And now we bring down that 9. And so let's try multiplying by 9 up here. And then we will multiply this out. What is 9 times 4? Or we can do it on the side of the paper. 2 and 9 times 4 is 36, and we carried that 3, and 2 times 9 is 18, and we have that 3 and we add it to it, and now we have 216. So now we will bring that 216 up here, and then we will bring this down and we will subtract that. So we have 23. And now we take this 8 and we bring down that 238. And now we have to see how many times does 24 go into 238, and we're going to write 9 again. And since we already know that 9 times 24 is 216, we're going to write that down, and we're going to subtract that. And now we're going to have a 2 in the remainder, and then we're also going to have a 2 in the result. And now we bring down that 8 again, and we see that 9 times 24 equals 216, so we subtract that number again, and we have 12 as the result. And now we bring down that 2 yet again, and now we need to say how many times does 24 go into 122. And so one thing to think about is 12 goes into 122 10 times with something that remains. And since 24 is twice 12, we're going to say that 24 goes into 122 5 times. So now let's go and do 24 times 5 off on the side, and we have it as 20. And then we have 2 times 5 is 10. With that 2 that was carried is 12, so 120. And then we have 120, and we have 2. And now we have all the digits that remain, but remember we have that 2 that's left over, so now we will add the decimal point. And with that decimal point, we're just going to add another 0 at the end. And then we're going to bring that down. We're going to say how many times does 24 go into 20? And we're going to say 0 times. So we're going to write down a 0 right there. And then we're going to bring down another 0. And we're going to say how many times does 24 go into 200. And so now we're just going to take a guess. Let's try 7, and we will see if that works. So 24 times 7, we first do this digit right here, and we say, what is 4 times 7? And then we write down the 8, and we carry the 2. And then we say 2 times 7 is 14. With that carried 2 brings us to 148. Nope, we're just a little too low. So let's us try 24 times 8. And so 8 times 4 is 32. Water is green, water is blue. 8 times 4 is 32. So we carry that 3, and then we say 2 times 8 is 16. With that 3 is 19, 192. So we come back over to our long division problem, and we write down 192, and we subtract. And then from 192, we cross out that 2. We bring that 9 over, we bring this over, and we say 8 is our remainder. But up here at top, remember we just had that 8, so we're going to say that each share is worth $19,995.08. So now we need to see how much each of our 4 investors gets. Right off the bat, we know that one of our investors, Lucy, has 1 share. So that 1 share of that 24, that means Lucy, for the year for owning that business, gets $19,995.18. Well, how much does Bill get? He has 2 shares. How much does Mark get? He has 2 shares. And how much does Polly get? She has 13 shares. So now we have to do a multiplication to find out how much each of her other investors gets. Looks like Lucy was a very good businesswoman, but now we need to pay out the dividends. So let's start out with Bill. He has 2 shares, so that means that we know 1 share is worth $19,995.08. Now we could add that together, or we could do multiplication, and that is what we will do. So Bill's 2 shares equals this 19,000 value multiplied by 2. So now we're going to take 8 times 2 is 16. We're going to put the 6, carry the 1, and then what is 2 times 0 is 0. And then we add that 1. And then 2 times 5 is 10. So we put the 0 and we carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18. And we add that 1. So we have a 9. And then we carry the 1. And 2 times 9 is 18. We have the 1. And we bring that to 19. And we carry that 1. 2 times 9 is 18. And we carry the 1. That brings us 19. 2 times 1 is 2. We add that 3. We add the 1 and we get 3. So that means that Bill, his shares are worth $39,990.16. And then let's figure out how much Mark has. Mark has 8 shares. So we're going to take that $19,995.08 and we're going to multiply that by Mark's 8 shares. And I'm just going to erase the numbers above so it doesn't confuse you as you watch this problem. So those 19,000 multiplied by 8 we first go to this column and we say 8 times 8 is 64, so we write down that 4, and then we carry the 6, and then what is 0 times 8 is 0. Add that 6, and we have this. Now 5 times 8 is 40, so we write down the 0, we carry the 4. 8 times 9 is 72, and we add that 4. So we put the 6 here, and we bring the 7 up top where we carried it. And 8 times 9 is 72, plus that 7 is 79. And so we bring the 9 right there, and we carry the 7. 8 times 7, again, 8 times 9 is 72, and then added that 7 on top of that, and we have a 9. And then we bring that 7 up top. And so then 8 times 1 is 8. And then we add that 7. And so we have 15. So that means that Mark gets $159,960.64. And then of the 13 shares that belong to Polly, now we take the 19,000, which is what each share is worth, and we multiply this by 13. So we're going to have to do multiplication for this number in the ones place and multiply it by everything up top, and then we're also going to have to do multiplication by this in the tens place and multiply it up by everything up top, and then we add those two values, and then we will count over and bring over the two decimal places. So that is the procedure that we're going to follow. So 8 times 3 is 24, so we'll write the 4 down and we will carry the 2. 3 times 0 is 0. Add that 2, and we have 2. 3 times 5 is 15, so we're going to write the 5, and we're going to carry the 1. 3 times 9 is 27. Add that 1, makes us 28. We're going to write the 8, and we're going to carry the 2. 3 times 9 is 27. Adding on that 2 brings us to 29. We're going to write down the 9, and we're going to bring up that 2 right there. 3 times 9 again is 27. Adding on that 2 brings us to 29. And so we're going to write the 9. We're going to carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Add that 2 brings us to 5. And now we have the second row. But when we do second row multiplication, we will come over and we will have this area that we will leave. So this one we're intentionally leaving this block with nothing in it. Okay, so now what is 1 times 8? 8. What is 1 times 0? 0. What is 1 times 5? 5. What is 1 times 9? 9. What is 1 times 9? 9. What is 1 times 9? 9. What is 1 times 1? 1. And now we add these together. And so right here we're going to have 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 8 is 10. So we have 0. And then we carry that 1. And then 5 plus 0 is 5. Plus that 1 we just carried brings us to 6. 8 plus 5 is 13. So we have the 3. And we carry the 1. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus that 1 brings us to 19, so we write the 9 and we carry the 1. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus that 1 brings us to 19. 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 1 brings us to 15. And then we bring that 1 over and we add it to this one and we have 2. And then we see that we had 2 places in the decimal place. So we have 1, 2. So then we bring this over 1, 2. And that means that Polly gets $259,936.04. So Polly gets $259,936.04. And that is an example of a long division problem and multiple digit multiplication as well as single digit multiplication. Thank you. Bye.